Good evening and welcome to Be the Media Huntington. Tonight is Wednesday, March 11th. My name is Jenny Lee. And tonight I have with me Miss Lisa.
Hello.
And Miss Dean is just running a few minutes behind. She said she'll be here in about 10 minutes. So Lisa and I were trying to figure out like what in the heck is going on in Huntington and figure out what kind of show and tone we were going to bring for you today. And it's all about Corona. So we're going to try to bring this back down to a local aspect. We wanted to talk about first all the work that's going on New York Avenue. It's a mess.
Sure is.
Lisa, you were over there today.
Yeah, I was on my way to work, and just before I was getting to the underpass, the traffic was already back to the light by 7-Eleven there. And yeah, it was crazy.
Commuters,
Here, I made a.
And it's gonna be like that for how long?
I don't know, but it's interesting because they wouldn't let me make, I don't know what's happening with the train commuters, because I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a visual on this real quick. Because I recorded a couple snippets when I drove by. So this will just help a little.
Okay, train station commuters. Let me pan over Huntington train station and put this back in my can holder. There is a situation on New York Avenue and Broadway.
Oh wait, I said a naughty word here. So I'm gonna stop it, and you can see.
So you can
all,
go straight.
I did. I called it a cluster F. Let me try to
Yeah, that's right.
go past this a little.
Cluster.
Oh, uh-oh. Let's move past that right there. Perfect.
No other way to say it.
Okay, so right there, and you can see it's all going on in the middle of the road. And
Yeah.
anybody who did, so you can't make a left. They're making you go all the way around. That was just this spot, but it seems like it's all of New York Avenue. And did you happen to see the huge boulder they picked
I
up?
must have missed that. No.
It was huge. So they're doing some sort of underground piping. And what I've been able to deduce is New York Avenue, we've got stuff going on under the street. And they also seem to be working on the electrical situation. What I noticed is there's on the telephone poles, the X area, this part right here was wood. They're now switching this part over to an orange something or other. So I don't know if maybe, LIPA is also upgrading things while whatever it is that they're doing underground. I mean, if they're ripping up the roads, I really wish that they would have just started to bury all of our utilities to begin with, so that when we do have another storm come through, that we're not dealing with having all the electrical lights come down as well.
Now, is this, I know I asked this question before,
Making them.
Sorry.
but is all of this construction because of all those apartments next to Walgreens?
Well, I mean, it's
Or is it something else going on?
well, it's the state because it's New York Avenue, right?
Right.
We know it's not the town, so of course we're not going to get any immediate answers for that. I still don't know what they did here with these things, these partitions in the middle of the road, and what this was for, this speed bump situation.
I want to know what where the yellow things ended up.
Right? They get just
They're
knocking them off.
We have ridiculous.
No, this one has both.
That must be old though. That must be an old picture.
No, I think I did. It is an old picture. You're absolutely right.
Because they're not there right now.
Different ones. This is the one.
Yeah.
It was down. For those of you who watch and don't just listen, we did put some visuals up for you.
When I drove my mom around the other day, because she doesn't get out much. So when I drove her around the other day and gave her a little sightseeing tour, she saw these things for the very first time, and she was a little baffled at what they were. And I told her I think they're for pedestrians. And she's like, you mean the people standing next to them? Like they weren't standing on it.
Well, it's so that they could be like Frogger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not working. Whatever. It was a waste. Whatever it was.
Pop over to this one. So actually Cliff took this picture. It came out so great. We're going to give him credit. So in spite of all this, we also had a very successful parade for the St. Patrick's Day this last Sunday. And I get the honor of actually being with the Hibernians for the whole day. And Cliff Weissman, he's our official photographer for us. He just did a really great job. I kind of helped him get everybody kind of just, together, and he snaps the photos. But these are the guys who put the Hibernian Parade together, and it was really a long parade this year. A lot of people did show up, and we had some great weather.
Yeah.
It was really good, actually. Unfortunately, I'm hearing conflicting reports about what's going on. So anyways, we have the second largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the entire state of New York, next to the one in New York City. And the only time we canceled was one time during World War I. So what I'm understanding, I did watch Cuomo's press today on the coronavirus, and one of the reporters had asked him about, well, what about the, because the new thing now is just basically there can be no large groups of people gathering together, and we're going to get into all of this in a minute. But so one of the reporters had asked Governor Cuomo today, what about the St. Patrick's Day parade? And he said, well, that's a phone call I'm going to make as soon as I leave here. So we're hearing now, there's been reports that the New York City parade has been canceled due to coronavirus concerns of large gatherings of people. But the parade planners are pretty much, there's conflicting information that they're saying the show is still going on and they haven't canceled in 258 years, and this isn't going to stop them. So I think there's some sort of internal conflict between what Cuomo wants and what the parade people who planned it want to do. So, I mean, there's a lot of cancellations. I was just watching my news feed. And somebody just said that St. Anthony's is closed now, the school.
Wow.
I know most people are familiar. St. Anthony's is a private school. And you were saying before that they come from many different places for that school.
Yeah, well, they come from areas that are affected now with the virus. They come from the city. My son went there and he had friends from all over the island. So that kind of makes sense. But what about Huntington and Walt Whitman?
So, I mean, and here's the thing with the virus, if anybody's been actually listening to the guys from WHO and from the CDC, Mike Pence, and they've got this whole Corona task force put together. They've been giving daily briefings about, the numbers, the statistics and everything else. Of course, wash our hands, all that stuff. But one of the things that really stands out, I mean, it's a virus, right? It's a 14 to 24 days that you could have it and not show any signs and spread it. So that's why they're saying there's some people who've come in contact and they're choosing to self-quarantine, or they're quarantining people by force now. So it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to contain the virus. The best thing to do is just get over it and build your immune system at this point. So one of the things that was very upsetting for my daughters this morning, they started texting me that the dinners they've been postponed, but basically postponing something without giving an alternative date is basically canceling it. It's canceled for now. So my daughters are both involved in fencing and they won't be having the dinner now. Also, I heard from another mom who has boys on the football team, the football dinners are also postponed until further notice. And March Madness locally for our school, which is a big deal, has been postponed. I guess they'll do April Madness, who knows. But another thing that they're starting to do now, all these big events, they're going to, like all the stuff that they film in New York, they're now filming it without audiences. And the March Madness, that the playoffs that they do, they're going to do that without any audience or fans.
Yeah, they're going to play for the championship with no fans. So it's weird. Really weird.
It seems just really just like there's an overreaction going on. Because now you have some of the schools are starting to close. Okay. So people are going to not have paychecks.
Mhm.
You would think, right? Or are these teachers going to be paid? It's interesting. I was watching Swalwell. I don't know if you know him. They had him on in an interview, and of course, he's trying to find a way to blame the president's response instead of just address the issue and have a conversation about it. It's not the president's response. The president assembled a team of professional people who have been giving everybody an update every day. That's who you should be listening to, and they've given you a website to listen to as well. But some of the guidance that came out today when the testimony was given was about the gatherings, about how people shouldn't be gathering in large groups. And that's when you started seeing all of the large group gatherings cancel.
Wasn't President Trump's very first response to limit travel before we even knew what was going on? He was already,
Before the virus was named by who? Before the virus was even named, he wanted to shut down travel to China. And he was called a racist by
Yeah.
Schumer for it. And he had a meeting with Cuomo because Cuomo was fighting him on saying, we're not going to stop travel here in New York because of that. And of course, now they're all blaming his response for not being enough when initially they called his response racism, which is just insane that you would even bring that into the mix. And we need to have confidence in our elected officials and the response. We need to not be spreading panic and fear. We need to be spreading calm and awareness, and anybody doing anything outside of that I'm watching it and it's like the panic is worse than the virus itself.
it is. It is. It's sickening. So my stomach is in a knot. My shoulders are tense. It's hurting my neck, which gives me.
Yes, I started watching the
Just like,
news
oh, it's
at an extended
heaven.
length of time for a little while, and it's really easy to get sucked in and start following, starting to feel anxious over it, and just
Yeah.
that's the last thing you need to be during what's being labeled as a global crisis.
And now where I'm working, I'm having soap and cleaning products literally taken from my hands at work. Literally taken from my hands. It's like just, oh my God, it's crazy.
So Denise put these on public, so I feel okay sharing them because she had them shared on a public thing. This is our local Target. This is the Target in Huntington. This is not, this is how people have reacted.
Oh my
These are the
God.
shelves of anything that has anything to do with sanitizing, and toilet paper. Due to the demand and to support our guests, we will be, what does that say? Limiting the quantities of disinfectant wipes, hand sanitizers, and hand and face wipes to one per guest. They're having to limit it. This
Yeah,
is the
because people
toilet
are
paper
hoarding it.
aisle.
People are taking everyone. Like this one man today, he took 15 small things of soap and put them in his cart. 15. And everybody else in the aisle was just standing there like, I needed that. I needed one. Like, I can't do anything about that.
None of these people already had toilet paper and soap in their house.
Well, last week when I first posted the picture, my family ran out of toilet paper. I mean, I was completely out. So I went to Shop and Stop to buy one package. I just wanted to buy one package of toilet paper. And I went to the store and I saw they were almost all gone on the shelf. I was like, what the hell's happening here? And then it just hit, boom.
Not me.
No
I got
more.
my supply. I got all of it. I got stacks. Yeah.
No isopropyl rubbing alcohol. There's no the hand sanitizer, Clorox wipes, Lysol spray. It's none.
Yeah. People aren't worried about food. And here's another thing. So
And people don't want to use regular soap. Oh no, I don't want that. What do you mean? It's soap. Oh, I don't want to use water. What do you mean? Now the water's going to be turned off? What are you talking about?
well, So this is interesting. I think it's one thing that people aren't really considering. And we reported on all the extra powers that Cuomo was given recently in reference to mandating vaccinations, which they're trying to push one through the pike with the coronavirus real quick. But not just that, but with being able to quarantine anyone for any reason. So his response to bringing in the National Guard to New Rochelle. Let me ask you this, okay? Because they've been talking about, you've got St. Anthony's is already canceled, right? Do you really think these kids are just going to stay home and away from each other?
Nope.
Or do you think they're going to go hang out with each other and get together and do their thing? So what are they
They
going
go
to
to
do?
school. Right.
So what are they going to do? Now are we going to be looking at possibly going into martial law so that they can force people to stay in special decontamination devices in their homes?
I guess that would be the only way, because it's a school day. It's a day off of school. They're not going to be sitting at home, and their parents are probably going to be working.
Yeah, we have kids that already started petitions to close the school. Cute. Oh my God, I touched my face. See, these are the things I
touched my
think
face
about now.
too.
Oh my God, I'm touching my face. I'm scared to cough in public and I have allergies. I have allergies. I get like this tickle in my throat and I'm like, oh my God. And if you do, they look at you. They look at you like, you did something wrong, or I don't know.
We
So
were in movies on Tuesday night. My husband and I were in the movie theater with some friends at the Shaw Movie Theater on Wall Street, and this person in the background started sneezing, like 4 sneezes, and we yelled. We turned around. We were like, "Take it outside!" Like, are you kidding me?
So y'all, I told you Dana was coming. And here she is.
I did. Sorry, I was running so late.
It's okay. It's okay. And we wanted to go on time because some of our favorite fans were very upset that we did not show up for a few weeks. So we wanted to make sure that we were here for them.
I get it. I'm so happy that we have dedicated fans.
I know, that are upset when we cancel. I mean, so
No.
big shout out to Gregory, one of our biggest fans. Thank you, Greg, for watching.
I definitely so
Your hand sanitizer on?
I have my hand sanitizers right on my keychain.
So that's what we've been talking about. I don't know if you saw it go up, but St. Anthony's has been closed now.
It's, first of all, both of my kids that are in college campuses are closed. One is in New Hampshire, one is in Utica, which means they're going to be coming home, which I am not a fan of because they drive me crazy when they're here. And all the CUNY and SUNY schools are all, Cuomo closed that, and then the subways. So
Well, no. Let's not talk about that. Link I sent you was a joke. If you click on it, you're going to see a really, really large thing.
terrible.
It was a joke. The subways aren't closed.
It's a Donkey Kong.
No, it's okay. My husband sent that to his group of friends also. It's a funny thing going around. And he didn't click on it either. And he sent it to his mom. And then he clicked on it after and realized he just sent his mom a big thing.
Donkey.
Is
Yeah.
that real?
Did you click on it? Go click on it.
Not real.
Look at it. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Okay. She got it now. She went back and saw it.
I'm
Kind of
not-
nice though. But it kind of
So the subways are okay.
hurt.
I didn't want to say anything, but I was like, okay.
King Kong is on the subway.
Hold on. Let me let her out.
But I did think that that was real, and I was like, oh God, are we not gonna go stark raving mad over this? Like, if you have decent hygiene to begin with, wash your hands. Use your sanitizer. For me, as a mother with boys, I always have hand sanitizer because they're nasty as hell. And You know, they are. Boy, they're so gross when they, I don't know if they, because
Have you tried watching the local news? I turned on News 12. In fact, I was sitting in the doctor's office watching News 12 and other people were commenting on it. It's local news about Long Island. And they're just pulling every coronavirus story they can out, and however they can link it to closings or this or that. And then finally you get 3 minutes of weather.
Unbelievable.
And then they go right back into the same cycle of reporting on who's dead where, and the rates and everything else. Another thing I found out, people are complaining that they can't just walk into a hospital and get the test kits, therefore the president's lying. There's a protocol to get any test. You can't walk into any hospital and say, give me a test for X, Y, or Z. You have to be showing symptoms. They're not just going to test you because you want to be tested to find out if you have anything. You have to be.
Isn't the test expensive?
Well, I don't know the cost on it, but I know that it's not like coronavirus. It's, I had asked somebody, I want to know the parameters of the tests. And because even pregnancy tests that we've been using for, how long have we been doing pregnancy tests? 50, 60 years? You could still emit a false positive. So anyways, I found out that the tests that they're using are SARS test for SARS. So basically, all these people are testing positive for SARS, which is a close relative of the coronavirus, which, by the way, is coronavirus number 19, because there's been that many strains. So it's nothing new. My cousin, her son, so is also my second cousin. He's very young. Okay. He has cystic fibrosis, which is it's a disease of the lungs. Okay. So he's already compromised. He had coronavirus 3-4 years ago. He fully recovered from it back then, and he was already compromised. So I really think that although, we should be taking certain precautions, I think there's a big overreaction happening. And that is what's causing a panic of people to buy out all the toilet paper, which I still don't get. I just still don't get the toilet paper thing.
I don't either.
Me either. What are they doing with the toilet paper?
I think they're wrapping themselves up like little mummies in it, so that they can go out in public.
Well, I guess people are afraid if they're going to be quarantined for a certain amount of time that they don't want to run out of toilet paper.
Well, they're literally shitting themselves.
They are. And you can use them as tissues. Other than that, that's about it.
So I went to the grocery store because I'm still living a normal life and not panicking. And it was interesting. They have, when you walk into the grocery store, they've always had it. The cloths that you can pull out to wipe down the really disgusting cart.
Gone.
The handle. The woman, when I was stopped and I was waiting for Lily, she came over, she goes, do you know that we had to remove those because there was people coming in with Ziplocs to take them out and take them all?
Oh,
So I went to Costco the other day. This lady holds up the entire line at Costco, wipe down her thing. And I'm like, lady, you don't know how, you really have to wipe down every single thing you purchase in the store then, because everybody touches over everything in those stores.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I don't understand. So we know that it's a rampant disease that's going on or whatever. And we know that people are getting a little crazy.
Yeah, airborne virus.
You should be cognitive in your mind that let me have certain common courtesies. So today I was in the doctor's office and I'm waiting and we're sitting in the room and everybody's already on 10 because it's the doctor's office. This lady was in there and she was like, but I'm laughing, but y'all know how I get. I was like, ma'am. And then she goes, I don't know what everybody looking at. It's not like I got some kind of disease or something. Trick, there is a virus going on and you coughing up your lungs. That's what we looking at. Use common courtesy. Cover your mouth. Go in the bathroom. And don't get offended when people start looking at you when you start coughing like a maniac.
So that's the thing too, because allergy season is right around the corner. In fact, we're
Mm.
probably in allergy season, right?
Right for y'all. Oh, my daughter too.
Yeah, I mean, when I was out today, I had my windows down for fresh
Mhm.
air, and I'm like, I'm like, oh, better get that under control before we go in public.
For
And
real.
if people upset that you're not, oh, there's still people coughing into their hands. They're disgusting instead of their there's people that are judging people really, really badly.
I mean, I can't fault people for doing that because I mean,
But it's because the panic.
you have to be realistic, even if it's something, just in my opinion, something just isn't right. The government is moving a little bit too crazy because when we had swine flu, we had SARS, Ebola, it wasn't to this extent. And those
But
were
this
killers.
is SARS, right? This is
Yeah.
SARS because that's the test
So
they're
you know what
using.
I'm saying? It's like, why is it the panic now? But you can't get offended when people look at you. I know that you have to have good hygiene. I would hope everyone practices it because they're like, oh, I gotta go buy out the stuff to make sure I wash my hand. What was you washing your hands with before?
Yep, that's what I was saying.
And the
What were you
Clorox,
doing before this?
yeah, like the Clorox. I'm gonna buy you don't use Clorox when you wash your bathroom? That has all the germs in it.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm not washing my hands in public restrooms and I'm avoiding them at all costs.
Public restrooms. I hate to say it, but the doctor's office, hospitals, because it's just too much of everything in there.
Yep.
And in the emergency room, even when you go in the back, we're all together. No,
Mm.
I'm a pass on that one.
I think this is going to peak. It hasn't yet. And according to the lead doctor on all this, that it's going to get worse before it gets better. But I want you to think about this with the incubation period, 14 to 24 days. You could have it right now and not know it. And you're already all over Hell's Half Acre, walking around living your life, right? So now they want to close schools or they want to cancel activities and they want to close big events. You can't contain an airborne disease. You just can't. You can try to lessen the impact, which I guess is what they're trying to do. But the only thing it's going to do is create a bigger problem, which is impacting our economy now. Because because now you have people. I have people who are their jobs are closing for an unlimited time. What are you supposed to do for food? And you're worried about getting sick?
What about parents that have to stay home because their kids are going to be off
Right?
of school? The ones that have to, the ones that need.
I'll
know,
tell you right
shit.
now, somebody in my house gets sick, I ain't telling anybody about it because I know I'm going to be shamed. You don't need to know. Oh, everybody's sick. We used to talk about this all the time, right? Think
Mhm.
about all those germy ass kids that were sent to school that were never sent home. We get a little letter. Oh, your child may have been exposed to strep. That's cool. So is this the new normal? Because if this is the new normal, we might as well just all homeschool and not pay school taxes and screw schools and public gatherings and have no human contact whatsoever. If this is the new normal, every flu season, everyone needs to self-quarantine.
And this is what I don't understand. But first thing, my sister works for Biogen in Massachusetts. I think she's been home the entire week. And that's because they have 3 of their employees, I think, were exposed to it. Now we're in direct contact with someone who had it. Now I think it skyrockets to like 20 or 30 or something ridiculous. And so she's been working offline from her home for God knows how long. I don't know what they're doing, but they are getting crazy. But speaking of the schools, here's what I don't understand. How come they tell you keep your kid home if you have a fever for 24 hours?
Fever, vomiting. There's
If you throw up,
3 fever, vomiting, and what's the other one?
fever, vomiting,
Rash.
and diarrhea.
Oh, diarrhea. I thought it was rash, but rash
Diarrhea.
should be on that list.
I think so. But so you keep your kid home, but then they'll send you notices in the mail from New York State about the kid's attendance. So wait a minute. Which one is it? Would you like me to keep him home or her home in accordance to what you're saying? Or do you want me to be quiet, have the kid throw up, let me be quiet and send him anyway?
And think about how many parents actually do send their kids to school because
Yeah.
they have to go to work, right?
Exactly.
It's true. I'm sorry.
They send
it's true.
the babies to daycare all the time sick,
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
they
the time.
do.
And it gets
Not
everyone
everywhere.
sick.
Yep. Yep.
And
Then
then
it
it
gets the
comes
grandma,
home,
the parents sick, and the grandparents sick, and the great grandparents.
and that's been
It
okay
doesn't end.
for years. That's been okay for years. And elderly people, which by the way, the average age of death is 80 for this, even though they have people that they're focusing on, like somebody posted, oh, well, the youngest person in Italy was 14 that's being incubated and monitored. That's because they're taking groups of people that may have been exposed. They're
Mhm.
reporting on people being monitored who don't even have it, right? They've just been exposed. So they're
Okay.
reporting on those large groups of people. So now, oh, 14-year-old was exposed, therefore we should worry. We've all been exposed. We're all exposed at this point. It's an airborne virus. It's probably better just go lick everybody's doorknobs, get it over with,
No.
get it over with, build your immune system
No.
and move on. Let's get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off.
No.
Tina, I was over early. I licked your doorknob already. You have it now.
Listen, I am your ride or die. You know this. But I will get-
No, but I'm gonna lick somebody. So I'm gonna tell you, somebody's annoying the hell out of me with this whole thing. I'm going over to her house and I all over that doorknob.
Lisa, make sure you have the bail money. We got to put our money together because we're gonna have to get around, go around licking people's doorknobs. They're gonna be like,
I appreciate that you would actually bail me out.
of course.
You better live feed that shit too.
I'm going to pick up
Well, if it's
Jen-
the same woman I think it is, she deserves it.
Totally.
Lick the
does.
back door knob too.
Yes, just to cover both bases. We don't want
Exactly.
to sneaking out the back.
Why are you guys thinking that? Stop. No,
I'll
you can't.
send you screenshots of the entire thing and you will agree at the end. You will agree.
Lick her doorknob too on a car.
Yeah.
Car-
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
Caca.
She gonna catch every bit of everything I got.
Mm.
Oh, she's so
Which-
obsessed with you. She certainly wants everything you've got.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting stalked. So it's crazy though, because honestly, I went on all the local blogs. I went looking and searching, and like even the last town board meeting, one of the updates that was about it is, oh, well, you can live stream because of, coronavirus. So no matter what, it's everywhere. And I've said this for years. When everybody's saying the same thing, somebody's not thinking.
I think it's just, the typical mass hysteria.
Yeah.
And that's why
On
before
a global
to-
level.
Yeah.
before they used to be a little bit more, the media was scrutinized to an extent, so it was able to hide things for a little bit longer, whereas we have social media now.
Hmm.
And you can't hide stuff because people post it as soon as they get it. And we have too many avenues: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, all those things. You can't really get away with certain things anymore.
Yep.
So I think even my baby who's 8, all on his thing is talking about corona.
My
I'm like, you're
kids
8 years
too.
old. What are you doing at 8 years old?
Well, they came in and they installed all the hand sanitizers in the school. We've got somebody started a petition to close the school. So, I mean, it definitely is impacting.
For what?
I know. And it was a kid, and apparently he did it as a joke, but it got back to the superintendent. My daughter shared it. She got shamed for sharing it. It's a mess. It's a mess.
That's, what? Another thing we need to really one day have a serious show on is the outrageous bullying that goes on in these schools. Either
Oh,
via
it's not just the schools, it's the adults. I want you to think about this.
Oh yeah.
There was a woman who I've been friends with for a while. I'm going to update you here because this happened.
Mhm,
We've been friends since our kids were in kindergarten.
mhm.
She hates Trump. We made it through the first 4 years of this man's election. Okay. She has unfriended me as of 2 days ago
Why?
because I was not showing the same level of fear, concern, and terror as she was, and saying we should be calm. She now goes out of her way. She's unfriended me. She shouldn't, right? She's now back posting on my stuff today to shame me some more about how I'm complaining. You'll see it when you go. Complaining. After she complained for years about the president, she's upset that I'm making complaints that started today about my daughters being upset that their fencing dinner was postponed with no
Indefinite
further
notice.
notice, which is basically a cancellation. That's a cancellation. Until you've rescheduled, you've canceled it. So I am complaining because I think it's stupid to cancel or postpone after school activity when school is still in session. Are they only contagious after 3 p.m.? So I make a point about this, and I'm reacting badly. So this is how messed up their minds are getting. I started at 23. I went to 24, which is mostly about the stocks. I went to 25 and I went to 26. I checked every channel. If you sit there long enough, you'll start to feel it stress out on you. You will start to feel sick from hearing about it. It will stress you out. And there are people that are sitting there and listening to it and feeding off of it. And that's why you are starting to see, yes, the media is creating a mass panic out of a situation instead of urging calm. Yes.
But I don't understand why what I don't understand with people in general, okay? Why do you get to tell me what I can and can't complain about? That's number one.
Yep.
Number two, I would think that is a logical question. If you are only canceling outside activities after 3, why would these kids is in that hub for 8 hours together? You are more likely to get it in school than after school sports.
Thank you. And that was the point. That was the point.
But if you're not a parent that's in the district, or if you don't have kids, maybe you don't understand, or maybe you have a different opinion. But if you're willing to jump and cancel after school sports or events, I think you should cancel school then.
Well, remember, it's not canceled, it's postponed until further notice.
Well, then postpone too.
Which is still the same thing. I'm sorry, you've canceled it for now.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna be very honest with you. I have a 15-year-old that lives with me. I mean, he's my son, he's not a stranger, but he has the worst personal hygiene I've ever seen in my life. I would be scared and that's one, right? How many of us have raised boys that are now, even some of them are men, and we know they don't practice the best hygiene, right? And now we're going to keep them in a classroom, in a building, confined, even though we're switching classes, which is even worse because this kid sat there and now it's on here and he did that, or this kid is, and now he's doing all that, but you don't cancel. But then you cancel after school activities when less than half of the population is there?
Well, and in fact, we don't really even have any cases here that warrant this type of reaction. And you know what this does? It really undermines that we have the greatest medical facilities on the globe. It undermines the hard work that the janitors are doing, where they're cleaning down they're taking all these amazing precautions. It just undermines every single level of government that has been in place for years that they can't handle this. I have so much more confidence in the United States of America and the branches of what we have. They want to focus on Trump. He's one man. He's the figurehead. I have confidence in the CDC. I have confidence in the people who are making, the recommendations. The recommendations. What I'm concerned about is people like Cuomo who are sending in the National Guard to Rochester So is the next step now going to be that they enforce us? Think about it. Here, let me give you the imaginary scenario. You're a St. Anthony's parent. Your school just closed. Your student is now coming home or staying home. Are you going to stay in your house for the 14 to 24 recommended days with your children?
Probably not.
Oh,
No,
well,
you're gonna
take
live
it.
your life. Yeah, you got shit to do, right?
Gotta go to work.
You either work or
You
Need
work,
toilet, paper, go out to the
you
store.
food shop, you clothes shop, you go out and pay bills, you do all kinds of things.
do you think these kids, if they cancel school, aren't going to be getting together?
That's
They gotta
obvious.
Gotta hang out because there's no school.
Right.
That's obvious.
So
Yeah.
what are they really accomplishing?
They're gonna keep it home.
They would have to instill martial law, and then you're going to be forced to stay in your home. So where are we really going with this? Is this,
I think
Or what, shoot you? If you go outside?
I'll tell you right now, if
What?
they came out with the vaccination right now, how many people would be begging for it, even though it's never been tested?
I might have to let mom. I don't like, medicine that's experimental. I don't like that.
We're
You wake
guinea pigs.
another head or something in the morning. No, I need you to have some.
So how about the damage that's already being done to our economy? Like, you're worried about dying from a virus? Your economy is about to be completely wiped out.
Well, I mean, I don't have as much confidence in the government because we've had, we always find out things 50, 60 years later about the things that they hid and the things that they didn't provide us with and the things that they experimented on. So I don't have that much confidence that, they're really telling us the truth. But I do have enough confidence to say that our districts between Huntington and South Huntington, that's who I'm speaking of because I'm a parent there and I know you're a parent there, and Lisa, you were once a parent there. Our kids haven't been fortunate enough not to come home with like crazy diseases. Not saying that they were never exposed to it, but they've kept the school clean enough that we've been able to manage. So I don't think that, we should be questioning them now because we've trusted them for all these years. Fifth disease is something that seems to always spread up in my district, and my kids have never caught it, or I've never had it. So they're doing something properly, even though somebody was exposed to it. We didn't all, and they didn't close the schools down for that either. And every year somebody gets lice. How about that? They never close the school for that, but my kids have never had lice or anything like that. So my point is the janitors and the cleaning staff and the administrations do what they have to do to make sure our kids are, covered enough, I think. So I do have faith in them. So I don't think the mass hysteria is necessary with the schools unless you have a confirmed case.
Yeah.
If you have a confirmed case, then I think, yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But other than that,
But a confirmed case of what? So a confirmed case of
SARS.
SARS. So basically what you're looking at is a respiratory disorder.
right.
You're looking at a cough with a fever. So what are the parameters of the people that are being observed? A cough, a fever, and had contact with somebody who's traveled outside of the country in the last 14 days, right?
And that really should
That's
be,
a pretty wide net.
but that really should be longer because like when it first started, they asked you that. So you just keep saying 14 days. What happened to the people who traveled before? What happened to them? We don't include those days now?
Well, they're in quarantine.
If they caught it. There's people that haven't caught it. They haven't
Right.
gone
No,
to-
there's people that are walking around that have it
yeah.
and they don't know, and they're never going to know that they recovered and never know that they had it. So those aren't even being added into the statistics of people who've recovered.
No. Oh God, scratch my face. No. I think it's
Touching
just
your face. Don't touch your face.
I know. And unfortunately I had a reaction to a treatment that I medication I had, and my face is just horribly infected. It's inflamed and it has like rashes on it. So it's so difficult for me to be like, and then I remember and I freaking panic. And I'm trying to scrub my face with the peppermint soap and that shit burns. That stuff burns. And it's like, I had to stop myself and be like, okay, now you're going crazy. You're doing too much. Stop.
Yeah, I'm just out there licking doorknobs, hoping like we could just get this over with.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah,
Only
she's-
my enemies. Only my enemies. It's fine.
I'm licking doorknobs. No, do that.
Listen, not for nothing, okay? In our lifetime, when we were kids, somebody would get the chicken pox and they would have chicken pox party to get that out of the way.
Yep, they did. I had
So,
to.
and that's, and not for nothing, vaccines is basically just introducing the disease to your body so your body can fight it off.
Oh.
So lick the fucking doorknobs, okay? Don't
Don't do that. Don't do that.
just get it over with. Why prolong the inevitable? I know it's gross, it's awful, and it's the only thing that's happening anywhere, and it's all consuming. And I understand people are operating out of a place of fear. I saw some people saying, well, we're not prepared. Well, what do you think prepared looks like?
When are we ever prepared for something that is not, what happens? Things happen all the time. We're never going to always be prepared for every single thing that happens.
I wasn't prepared to be a parent. Here I am.
I wasn't prepared to be a decent parent. How about that? I was gonna be like, we all messed up now.
Shit, I'm not even decent. I'm just doing my best over here.
You know what I'm saying? I hope for the best and
Right.
go on. But we'll
Right.
never all be prepared. You get a flat tire, you're not prepared for that.
Nope.
Your car shuts off without you knowing. You're not prepared for that. Like, what the hell? What happened?
Remember when my car went on fire? Totally was not prepared.
How about that?
Be driving and the car was on fire. It's flames shooting out of my center console. I wasn't prepared for that.
None of us were prepared for that.
So
So it's like you got to use common sense, and people have to stop all the, reaction by fear. Do what you have to do in your home. Keep the place a little clean, tidy up after your little ones. Make sure you're a little extra cautious with them. That's what I do. And you could pray for the best. Keep them moving.
yeah, got to live your life. Otherwise, what's the point? Right?
Yeah. Just
Yep.
do it.
Game of roulette, because you don't know and you can't know until
And what are
After
you gonna do?
9/11, George W. Bush, even though I'm not a fan now, I remember he had said, if we start to change the way we live life, the terrorists have won, right? And we should be able. I know, Dina, you love him.
I do. Well, that's why I was like, girl, what you
But
say?
no, I was a fan at one point, and then I just wasn't. But that's okay. I'm fickle, so it's okay. We know I'm fickle, and it's okay. But he did say those things after 9/11 happened. He said, "Live as normal a life as you can, otherwise the terrorists have won." Don't forget where this started. It started in China, and we've been China is not our friend. They're not our friends, and it's not
No,
racist to be
that's
upset
true.
over the virus.
That's very true. And people, I'm not one of these people that believe in conspiracy theories or anything of that nature. But I do believe certain things have a valid point. My sister, the one who works at Biogen, they have all these support groups it's crazy. But someone made a mention of maybe this might be biohazard warfare from China.
We were warned about this in 1981 by an author named Dean Koontz.
What did he
He-
say?
In 1981, he said that in 2020, we were going to fall victim to a man-made virus that comes out of Wuhan, China. He wrote this in a book, Eyes of Darkness. Yep.
It's crazy. I've actually seen it. She's right.
I don't like predictions like that.
But
Wait a
again, what did I tell you before? This is
Crazy.
COVID-19. It's the 19th strain of this virus.
So my question is then this, right? If you knew China had these issues, why weren't all flights and all travel to and from stopped? Like if you're there, you're
Because it's
stuck.
racist. Because it's racist. That's why.
Why is it racist? How is that racist?
That's what the Democrats said.
How
Trump
is it?
Trump started when he found out what was going on.
He
He
canceled
limited.
flights. Do you remember when that happened? He canceled flights from China, and Chuck
Right.
Schumer said it was racist,
Why?
and Cuomo had to have a meeting in the office with Trump because he said, "You're not shutting down travel in my state
Well,
because
like,
they're Chinese, because it's racist."
what is okay? So if it happened in Switzerland and we stopped all the flights there, is that racist? How about you
None
protect?
of it's racist, but what they want to do is just that's the thing. First of all, racism is important. And by bringing it up with everything that's
It
this,
diminishes.
it
Yeah.
diminishes what racism is, and people start to tune out real racism.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
I would just have to be a racist then, because
Yep.
I that's common sense. If I know that over here on Kellogg there is a whole bunch of like break-ins or car break-ins, I'm not gonna park my car on Kellogg. Does it mean I'm racist? No, it means I have some damn common sense. And hey, every other car has been broken in. Let me not let
But
you know. Let me.
if you live in a community with a minority population that's high, then yes, you're a racist according
That makes
to their
absolutely
logic.
no sense, because how could we could have done a better quarantine. You
No.
see how Italy has stopped everything.
Yep.
Are they racist?
They shut down their whole country.
You don't have to pay your mortgage. You don't have to go to work. Vatican City, I believe, also, because believe it or not, that's separate. They closed down as well. St. Peter's Basilica was a ghost town, which is unheard of. And is that racist?
Yes.
No.
Calling the
That's all common
disease
sense.
the Wuhan virus has been called racist.
You
And
know,
I love you guys, but right now my daughter needs to be picked up and my husband is sleeping.
oh, it's 8:52.
I know. I'm gonna have to go get her.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We're just gonna have to end a couple minutes early.
That's okay. 8:52 already. It's almost a full hour.
I know. We almost did a full hour. I'm sorry. She's,
It's okay.
truth be told, texting me. I have to go get her.
You
Um,
don't have excuses. It's fine. Not
I
excuses.
wanted to
Don't
really,
owe anybody.
I wanted to, right. No, family first. Totally, of
Yeah.
course. Oh, but it's always fun with, and I miss you guys.
I know. So
All right, so we'll figure something else out. I know that you guys needed to get off early anyways. But woo, this was the coronavirus show. Go us.
yeah.
Nothing else. Maybe next week it'll be different.
Oh, I really hope so. If not, I'm going to on the next show auction off a case of toilet paper. Why not?
Well, there we go. Got it.
All the proceeds will go to charity. I promise. Not in it for the
Good.
profit. Mhm.
Sounds
So.
good.
Crazy. Okay.
All right. Well, good night, everyone.
Good night,
All right.
guys.
We hope everyone enjoyed tonight's Huntington View, and I'm sorry I got to jet out, but I'm getting text by a kiddo. So have a good night, everyone. See you next
Good
week.
night. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.